Here's a slice of irony. Here's Esoterica talking about first banned books. Meanwhile, they're censoring freedom of speech. Whoever's moderating the account, Justin Sledge or otherwise, I imagine all parties are at fault, but what do I know? Well, I knew it could happen, and this is what I mean by you gotta do the right fucking thing. Let's bring it up on here because I was just blocked on Instagram. This is the channel, and I really like what Justin Sledge gets up to. So, some people burnt some Torah in Justin Sledge's hometown. That's the gist of it. That's what just took place. And so I contacted a number of people who are, they're crying for him and saying that's horrible, blah, 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 blah. And it is. I left other things in this post, mind you, before I was, Oh, it didn't work, did it? Oh, I thought it cut me off. I left other things in this post which said nobody should be infringing on other people in just such a way, blah, 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 blah. It's bad on both sides. You got to appreciate both sides. But I was blocked. So here, let me jump in here and I'll show you what I was leaving on there. We're off. And that's the last person I guess I contacted. Let's see. So as it reads, Israeli military actions in Gaza have resulted in the damage or destruction of 3 of the historic churches in the territory, as well as numerous libraries and educational institutions. Several sources, including a UN commission, have described the extensive and systematic destruction of cultural sites as potential war crimes or cultural genocide. It's important to appreciate the big picture, which is what I added for some of these superficial internet babies. Now, this reflects history, this reflects reality, this is currently afoot. Cultural genocide, just to be clear. And Justin Sledge censored me, or whoever's moderating his page on Instagram. That should concern you. That should concern you. And it makes me wonder if he's ever waxed poetic about not being, a Zionist or anything along those lines to keep things diplomatic on, Esoterica. I don't know. But he does support patently fascist censorship, which is questionable. What the fuck do I know? If you hung out, thanks for hanging out. This is not how things should be, but unfortunately this is how things are. Often taught at the medieval church. That's what I was shooting for. And you never know. Maybe I should throw this in there too. You never know. This is fresh, as kids might say. He might just be pissed off because somebody just did this and I'm speaking a bad word about fill in the blank if you can. So maybe he just reacted. But the point is to think, not react. And if you consider what he's left on the DARPA internet long term, supposedly it has to do with, using the cognitive process, the gray matter between your ears, which is contradictory to him quite literally knocking out a knee-jerk reaction and blocking me. But what do I know? Thanks for hanging out. For those of you who are curious like me, this just has to do with the clunky tinkerings of Instagram. Let me scroll back. Do you see that right there? I got a number of, I got 2 technically. 2 notifications where superficial internet babies responded to what I left on the post. But when I click on it, well, I couldn't get to it technically unless it was through my notifications because Instagram wouldn't give me a direct notification because I was blocked by the channel. My point is this stuff still trickles through, which makes absolutely no sense because things are less efficient than ever before. This didn't used to happen when people would block you. When you were blocked, and you wouldn't see any traffic. I'm sure some of you understand. Not all of you, but some. This will probably be censored on the DARPA internet, unfortunately, because patently fascist censorship is alive and well because most people cater to it. Would you agree, and this is if you're familiar with Esoterica, the YouTube channel, the Instagram channel, they moderate a lot of different profiles on different social engineering platforms people call social media. Would you agree that, by and large, the information that's presented relates to history? In other words, they cater in disseminating acts or aspects of history to the masses. And they do. So this is what they're censoring by kicking me to the curb for encouraging others to consider the other side to the story. And encouraging people not to buy into either side, because polarizing bullshit is the Hegelian dialectic, which is fascism in practice, in case that's never dawned on you. These are just some of the violent and absolutely atrocious methods of death. But wait, there's more. This is currently taking place. This is fascism in practice. This is not okay. I don't think anybody should be burning other people's, their scrolls, their books, busting up your clay tablets. None of that shit. Because that's not how things should be. But unfortunately, that's how things are. Because you and I are surrounded by people who do not understand what's what. Which is why it's important to appreciate history, which is absolutely ironic. It's also terribly important not to promote patently fascist censorship. Because by doing so, fewer and fewer people, especially those superficial internet babies out there, they'll never be privy to this. They'll never give two shits about this. Because you didn't knock on their door and spoon feed it to them. You didn't upset the apple cart. And all those other analogies. This is deplorable. Censoring people's bad. This is worse. But the two do go hand in hand. And as a reminder, it has to do with this jazz up here. Also, bear in mind, AI overviews would not exist if you and I were surrounded by smart people willing to do the right thing. Things are getting bad because you and I are not surrounded by smart people. We are surrounded by exceptionally dim lights who are marching in lockstep with their horse blinders on. Long term, I've been doing my best not to mislead others by example. Don't believe what I said today. Don't buy into it. Don't repeat it. Look into it. Use what I said as a tool and consider the information. Sit with it. In other words, think, don't react. If you think about how the DARPA internet functions today, I'm talking about the internet, it is the DARPA internet. People are reacting on a daily basis, which is making things worse and worse and worse. And it's by design, not coincidence. You and I have we're being manipulated. There aren't good things on the horizon, and it's because people are not thinking for themselves. Yeah. Shit happens. But you can craft moments. You can, use some attention and care. You can be mindful of your actions. You can, think instead of reacting. I'm disappointed in Justin Sledge and any parties involved in moderating what he gets up to on the DARPA internet. Absolutely disappointed. One last time. What the fuck do I know?